All right, with number 4, we're going to isolate for v, and so let's go ahead and underline that. This is a special case because it's v squared. All right, so let's go ahead and divide everything by m first. We want to isolate that there. So, and I'm just going to actually reflect it. So that's e over m. Okay, and then we have this isolated. We need to use the square root principle. So I'm going to take the square root of both sides, but I have to say the square root here is equal to plus or minus the square root of e over m. So v is just equal to plus or minus the square root of e over m. Nothing really simplifies in that case. All right, and the restrictions you could think about, well, we've got some things going on here. M can't be 0, and also e over m has to be greater than or equal to 0. Right? All right, number 5, we are trying to isolate m. So we can see we have a couple cases where we have m. Well, you know what I'm going to do? I've got a fraction here, and I think one of the things that we could do is just clear all the fractions. So we only have one denominator, so we could multiply everything by 2. That's not the only way to do it, but it's certainly one strategy, is to get rid of those fractions. Okay, so when I do that, I have 2e is equal to mv squared plus 2mgh. Okay. All right, so we want to isolate m. We've got 2 of those m's there. So what is the common factor? Well, the common factor between this binomial is m, okay? And so because I didn't have those fractions there, I still could have used it, but I think this makes it a little bit more logical. So I'm going to factor out m. So I've got 2e is equal to m times v squared plus 2gh. And then we're just going to undo that multiplication. So we're going to divide both sides by v squared plus 2gh, right? And we have v squared plus 2gh. Okay, so m is equal to 2e over v squared plus 2gh. V squared has to be, cannot equal 2gh because that would be 0, right? All right, so we've got Celsius converted from Fahrenheit. We could substitute Fahrenheit degrees in here and find out what they are in Celsius. Most of you guys have apps on your phone that do that, but this is how it used to be done in the old days. So it looks like a linear relationship between the two, right? So, all right, so what I want to do here is I just want to multiply both sides by, let's just clear this fraction. And some people would say, well, I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. I'm just going to do it a little more simple than that. I'm just going to multiply by the lowest common multiple of the denominator, so times by 9 here. So I'll have 9c is equal to 5 times f minus 32. And again, I could have done that a little bit more efficiently, but I'm just going to take it easy here. Again, I want to undo the multiplication, so I'm going to divide by 5. So we have, let's just reflect that as well. So f minus 32 is equal to 9c over 5. And then I'm going to obviously add 32. That's a pretty simple step there. So add 32 to both sides. So f is equal to 9c over 5, or we could say 9/5 c plus 32.